The mockery the story opens in the year 2387 at the Galactic trade station orbiting the planet. Nexus Prime, the massive space station, serves as a meeting point for dozens of alien species, all conducting business and sharing technology. The station's main docking bay buzzes with activity as sleek alien vessels of every imaginable design rest in their berths. Among the impressive fleet of ships stands a small, battered human vessel called the Iron Will. The ship looks primitive. Compared to the others, its hull is patched with metal plates. Its engines emit black smoke instead of clean energy, and its weapon systems appear to be simple projectile launchers. The other species point and laugh at the human ship, whispering jokes about Earth's backward technology. Captain Jack Stone, a weathered human in his 50s, walks through the station's corridors with his small crew. Everywhere they go, aliens stare and snicker. The Vorthan traders, with their crystal-like skin, mock the humans' metal boxes. The Kalari merchants, tall and graceful, call human ships flying scrapyards. Even the peaceful Threx delegates shake their heads in pity. At the station's main conference hall, representatives from various species gather for the monthly trade summit. Jack sits at the small human table, ignored by most delegates. The Vorthan ambassador, a proud being named Krell, addresses the assembly. Fellow beings of the galaxy, Krell announces, we must discuss the growing pirate threat in the Outer Rim. These criminals have been attacking our most advanced ships with ease. We need a coordinated response. The room erupts in discussion. The Kalari suggest using their fastest scout ships. The Threx propose their heavily shielded cargo vessels. Various species offer their most advanced technology to solve the problem. Jack raises his hand to speak, but the room falls silent with barely contained laughter. Perhaps, Jack says calmly, Earth could assist with patrol duties in the Outer Rim. The silence breaks into open mockery. Krell's crystalline features twist into what passes for a smile among his people. Captain Stone, your offer is not appreciated, but these pirates have been destroying ships with shields stronger than your entire vessel. They use weapons that could vaporize your ship before you even detect them. A Kalari delegate adds, no offense, human, but your ships are centuries behind our technology. You still use chemical propulsion and metal projectiles. Our enemies have energy weapons and quantum shields. Jack's jaw tightens, but he maintains his composure. Our ships may look different, but we've been fighting in space longer than you might think. Fighting asteroids, perhaps. Another alien chuckles, or each other with your primitive weapons. The Threx delegate, trying to be diplomatic, speaks up. Captain Stone, perhaps Earth could contribute in other ways. Supply runs, medical aid, communication support. Leave the dangerous. Work to those better equipped. Jack stands slowly, his crew watching him with quiet respect. We appreciate the suggestion, but humans don't run from a fight, especially when innocent people are in danger. The room buzzes with whispered conversations. Most delegates assume the human is simply too proud to admit his limitations. They've seen Earth's technology, report screwed fusion reactors, basic energy weapons, and armor that couldn't stop a child's toy from some species. As the meeting continues, reports come in about the latest pirate attacks. 3 Vorthan crystal ships destroyed in the Kepler sector. A Shilari fast cruiser vanished near the Titan Nebula. 2 Threx heavy transports found floating in pieces near the binary stars. The pirates seem to know exactly where to strike and when. Their ships appear from nowhere, attack with devastating precision, and disappear before help can arrive. The aliens' most advanced sensors can't track them, and their best weapons can't touch them. Krell pounds his crystalline fist on the table. This is intolerable. Our finest ships, our greatest minds, and we cannot catch a handful of criminals. Maybe, Jack says quietly. "You're thinking about this wrong." The room turns to him again, some delegates rolling their eyes. "What do you mean, human?" Krell asks with barely concealed impatience. "Sometimes the old ways work when the new ways fail," Jack replies. "Sometimes simple is better than complex." A Kellery delegate laughs. "Simple? Captain, these pirates are using technology we barely understand. This requires our most advanced ships and weapons." Jack nods slowly. "If you say so. But if you change your mind, the Iron Will be ready." As the meeting ends, the aliens continue their discussions about advanced countermeasures and sophisticated detection systems. They barely notice Jack and his crew leaving the conference hall. None of them suspect that within days, their assumptions about human technology and capabilities will be shattered forever. The mockery continues as the human ship prepares to depart, with aliens placing bets on how quickly the Iron Will would be destroyed if it actually encountered the pirates. 3 days after the trade summit, the Iron Will cruises through the Outer Rim territories. The ship moves at what appears to be a leisurely pace, its engines putting out the same black smoke that earned so much ridicule at the station. Inside the cramped bridge, Captain Jack Stone studies star charts, while his crew monitors primitive-looking instruments. "Captain," calls out his navigator Tom Rivers, "we're entering the Kepler sector. This is where those Vorthan ships got hit." Jack nods, his weathered face showing no concern. "Any sign of our friends?" "Not yet, sir. But if they're using the same tactics as before, they'll wait until we're deep in the asteroid field." The Iron Will's crew consists of only 5 people, compared to the hundreds that crew most alien vessels. Mike Chun handles weapons, Lisa Park manages engineering, Tong navigates, and Jack commands. Their 5th member, Alex Wolf, sits quietly at what looks like a communications console, but serves a very different purpose. As they enter the asteroid field, the ship's sensors begin picking up debris from the destroyed Vorthan vessels. The crystalline fragments float in space like deadly snow, reflecting starlight in rainbow patterns. Jack orders a full stop to examine the wreckage. "Same pattern as the other attacks," Mike reports. "Clean cuts through the hull, no burn marks. From energy weapons, whatever hit them was precise." Lisa looks up from her engineering station. "Captain, the power signatures don't match any known weapon types. It's like something just ... erased parts of their ships." Jack activates the ships. Intercom. "All hands, we're going to full hunting mode. Alex, is your equipment ready?" Alex Wolf, a lean man in his 30s, adjusts settings on his console. "Everything's online, Captain. If they're out there, we'll find them." What the aliens don't know is that Alex isn't just a communications officer. He's a specialist in something the galaxy has never seen before: quantum tracker technology that humans developed in secret. While other species focused on making their ships faster and more powerful, humans spent decades perfecting the art of finding things that don't want to be found. The Iron Will continues deeper into the asteroid field, appearing to search randomly among the floating rocks. To any observer, the ship looks vulnerable and lost. Its movements seem clumsy. Its sensors appear to be scanning in all the wrong directions. That's exactly what Jack wants. "Contact," Alex whispers suddenly. 3 ships, hiding in the shadow of the large asteroid at bearing 27 Mark IV. They're using some kind of phase shift technology to stay hidden. The pirate ships are unlike anything in the Galactic database. Their hulls seem to bend light around them, making them nearly invisible. They move without any visible propulsion, sliding through space like ghosts. Their weapon systems are completely unknown, capable of cutting through the strongest alien shields as if they were paper. "How long until they attack?" Jack asks calmly. "Based on their previous patterns, they'll wait until we're in the optimal position." "Probably another 10 minutes," Alex replies. Jack activates his cruise stations. Mike, load the special ammunition. Lisa, prepare the real engines. Tom, plot an escape route that takes us through Grid 7 Alpha. The crew moves with practice. Efficiency. Mike's simple projectile weapons begin receiving ammunition that looks nothing like the basic shells the aliens saw. Lisa's engines start drawing power from systems that don't appear on any of the ship's external blueprints. Tom's navigation console lights up with star charts that show details no other species possesses. Captain, Mike reports, weapons are loaded and ready. We've got 12 shots before we need to reload. That should be enough, Jack says. Remember, we want at least one ship intact for questioning. The Iron Will continues its apparently aimless search, drifting closer to the pirates' hiding spot. The human ship looks like easy prey, a single primitive vessel with outdated weapons and weak shields. The pirates have destroyed dozens of more advanced ships, so this should be routine. That's when the first pirate ship drops its camouflage and attacks. The alien vessel appears suddenly, its strange weapons charging with an eerie blue glow. It moves with impossible speed, positioning itself for a killing blow. The weapon fires, sending a beam of energy that has destroyed every other ship it's touched. But the Iron Will doesn't die. Instead, something happens that makes the pirate ship hesitate for just a moment. The human vessel seems to shimmer, like heat waves rising from hot metal. The deadly beam passes through empty space where the ship should be. Now, Jack orders quietly. Asterisk. The galaxy is about to learn why you should never underestimate humans. Asterisk. The moment the pirate's deadly beam passes through empty space, the Iron Will reappears in a completely different location. The ship didn't move, it simply wasn't there. When the attack came, then existed again somewhere else. To the pirates, it looks like magic. Phase shift complete, Alex reports calmly. All systems nominal. The pirate ship spins in confusion, its sensors searching for the human vessel. They should be debris by now. The other two pirate ships drop their camouflage, surrounding the area where the Iron Will was moments before. Their alien technology can't explain what just happened. Mike, you have a clear shot on the lead ship, Jack orders. Disable, don't destroy. Mike's fingers dance over his weapon controls. The Iron Will's primitive projectile weapons fire, but what emerges isn't the simple metal bullets the aliens expect. Instead, specialized rounds streak through space, each one designed with technology that took human scientists 50 years to perfect. The first round hits the lead pirate ship and releases a burst of electromagnetic energy that shuts down its engines. The second round deploys microfilaments that wrap around the ship's weapon systems, disabling them completely. The third round contains a neural disruptor that affects the ship's computer systems. The lead pirate ship goes dark, floating helplessly. In space, what the hell was that? One of the remaining pirates broadcasts on an open channel, his voice filled with shock. The other pirate ships open fire simultaneously, their beams crossing the space where the Iron Will hovers. But again, the human ship simply isn't there when the attacks arrive. It phases in and out of normal space like a ghost, appearing long enough to fire another precise shot before vanishing again. Lisa, how's our power holding up? Jack asks. Phase. Drive is operating at 60% efficiency, Lisa responds. We can maintain this for another 20 minutes without strain. The second pirate ship suffers the same fate as the first, disabled by weapons that seem primitive, but work with devastating effectiveness. The third ship, now alone and facing an enemy it can't understand, tries to flee. Tom, intercept course. Don't let them escape, Jack commands. The Iron Will's engines ignite with power that makes the earlier black smoke seem like a joke. The ship accelerates faster than any vessel the pirates have ever seen, closing the distance in seconds. The fleeing pirate ship tries to activate its own phase technology. But Alex's quantum tracking system has already locked onto its signature. "I've got them mapped," Alex reports. "They can't hide from us now." The final pirate ship makes a desperate attack, firing everything it has at the iron will. The beams pass through empty space as the human ship phases out of normal reality. When it reappears, it's directly above the pirate vessel, weapons trained on its engines. "Surrender now, and no one gets hurt." Jack broadcasts to the pirate ship. The response is another barrage of weapons fire. Jack sighs and nods to Mike. Third pirate ship joins its companions in floating helplessly through space. Alex starts scanning their ships. "I want to know everything about their technology," Jack orders. "Tom, send a message to the trade station. Tell them we've captured the pirates." "Captain," Lisa says from her station, "we're getting some interesting readings from their ships. This technology ... it's not from any known species." Jack frowns. "What do you mean?" "I mean, these ships are using tech that's more advanced than anything in the Galactic database. The phase shift camouflage, the hull-cutting weapons, the engines, none of it matches any civilization we know about." Alex looks up from his console. "Captain, I'm detecting life signs on all three ships, but they single quotes strange. Not like any species I've scanned before." Before Jack can respond, his communication system crackles to life. It's a message from the trade station, and the voice belongs to Ambassador Krell. "Captain Stone, we received your message about capturing the pirates. This is impossible. Our best ships have been hunting them for months. How could your primitive vessel succeed where we failed?" Jack activates his response channel. "Ambassador, we used the tools we brought with us. Sometimes simple is better than complex." "This makes no sense." Krell's voice carries frustration and disbelief. "Your ship appeared on our sensors to be destroyed and reappeared in a different location. Our instruments detected energy signatures we've never seen before." "We'll explain everything when we return to the station," Jack replies. "But first, we need to examine these pirate ships. I think there's more to this situation than anyone realized." As the Iron Will begins its investigation of the captured vessels, the truth starts to emerge. The pirates aren't just criminals, they're scouts for something much bigger. And the galaxy's mockery of human technology is about to turn into desperate requests for help. The trade station's main conference. Hall buzzes with activity as delegates from across the galaxy gather for an emergency session. Captain Jack Stone stands at the center of the room, no longer ignored or mocked. The three captured pirate ships float in the station security bay, their strange technology baffling the galaxy's best scientists. Ambassador Krell approaches Jack with a mixture of respect and confusion. "Captain Stone, our experts have been examining the vessels you captured. We must know, how did your ship survive their attacks? How did you make it disappear and reappear?" Jack looks around the room at the assembled delegates. Beings that had laughed at his ship now lean forward, eager to hear his explanation. "The technology we used isn't new. Humans have been developing it for decades, but we kept it secret." "Secret?" The Kellari delegate sounds shocked. "But the Galactic Treaty requires all members to share defensive technologies. Only if they're requested," Jack replies calmly. "No one ever asked us about our defensive capabilities. They just assumed we didn't have any." A Threx representative speaks up. "Captain, we've studied your ship's specifications. According to our analysis, the Iron Will shouldn't be able to generate the power necessary for the technology you demonstrated." Jack smiles slightly. "That's because you're looking at our public specifications, the ones we filed with the Galactic Registry. What you saw yesterday was a ship running on its actual systems." The room erupts in surprised murmurs. Krell's crystalline features show confusion. "You mean you've been lying about your capabilities?" Not lying, Jack corrects. We just didn't advertise them. Humans learned long ago that it's better to be underestimated than overestimated. Lisa Park, Jack's engineer, steps forward with a data pad. Delegates, what you call phase shift technology is something we call dimensional stepping. While other species focused on making stronger shields and more powerful weapons, we focused on not being there when attacks come. But how? The question comes from a dozen voices at once. Alex Wolf joins the explanation. Quantum mechanics. We don't move through space. We briefly exist in a parallel dimension where the attack can't reach us. Then we step back into normal. Space in a different location. The delegates stare in amazement. Technology that seemed impossible to them is being explained as if it's routine. The power requirements alone should be enormous, a Vorthan scientist protests. That's why we use fusion reactors differently than you do, Lisa explains. Our engines aren't just propulsion, they're dimensional anchors. What you saw as primitive black smoke was actually excess dimensional energy being vented. Jack raises his hand for silence. But this isn't why we called this meeting. The pirate ships we captured, they're not what they seem. The room falls. Quiet as Jack activates a holographic display. Images of the captured vessels appear in the air, showing their internal structure and technology. These aren't pirate ships, Jack announces. They're scouts. And they're not from any known species in the galaxy. The hologram shifts to show star charts with marked locations. For the past 6 months, these scouts have been mapping our territories, studying our defenses, and identifying our weaknesses. The attacks on merchant ships were just cover for their real mission. Ambassador Krell's voice carries a note of fear. Scouts for what? For an invasion, Jack replies grimly. We found their communication logs. A species called the Devourers is planning to attack the galaxy. They sent these scouts to prepare the way. The conference hall erupts in panic. Delegates shout questions and demands for more information. Jack waits for the noise to die down before continuing. The Devourers have been conquering galaxies for thousands of years. They study their targets, learn their weaknesses, then attack when they're ready. According to the scout logs, they've been planning this invasion for 50 years. How long? Before they arrive? The question comes from the Threx delegate, his voice barely above a whisper. Jack checks his data pad. Based on their communications, we have maybe 6 months before the main fleet arrives. The room falls silent as the implications sink in. The galaxy's most advanced civilizations are facing an enemy that's been studying them for decades. An enemy that's already found ways to destroy their best ships. What do we do? Krell asks, his earlier arrogance completely gone. Jack looks around the room at the faces of beings who had mocked his ship just days before. We prepare, and we stop underestimating each other. But Captain, a Kalari delegate, speaks up. If your technology can defeat their scouts, surely it can handle the invasion fleet. Jack's expression grows serious. The scouts were just the beginning. The real Devourer ships are something else entirely. We're going to need everything the galaxy has to offer. Your shields, your weapons, your ships, and our technology working. Together, the mockery has ended. The real fight is about to begin. 6 months later. The combined fleet of the galaxy hangs in space near the edge of the outer rim. Hundreds of ships from dozens of species form a defensive line unlike anything ever seen before. Vorthan crystal ships with their rainbow shields float alongside Kalari speed cruisers. Threx heavy battleships position themselves next to sleek alien vessels of every design and scattered throughout the fleet, looking small but no longer primitive, are the ships of Earth. Captain Jack Stone stands on the bridge of the Iron Will, now designated as the fleet's command ship. Around him, holographic displays show the positions of every vessel in the defensive line. The past 6 months have changed everything, not just for humans, but for the entire galaxy. Captain, Tom Rivers reports from his navigation station. Long-range sensors are picking up the Devourer fleet. They'll be here in 30 minutes. Jack nods, then opens a channel to the entire fleet. All ships, this is Captain Stone. The enemy is approaching. Remember your training, trust your allies, and let's show these invaders what the galaxy can do when it works together. The transformation had been remarkable. Once the galaxy's species learned about the Devourer threat, old prejudices and competition gave way to cooperation. Human dimensional technology was shared with alien engineering. Vorthan shield generators were integrated with human weapon systems. Kalari speed was combined with Threx armor. The result was a fleet that no single species could have created. Alone, Alex, are you tracking their approach? Jack asks. Alex Wolf, now the fleet's chief reconnaissance officer, studies his advanced sensor array. Confirmed, Captain. 12 main battleships, each one the size of a small moon. Escort vessels. Number in the hundreds. But there's something else. They're using dimensional technology similar to ours. They learned from the scouts, Jack says grimly. They know our tricks now. The first Devourer ships appear on the horizon, dark shapes that seem to absorb light, rather than reflect it. They move with purpose, their formation suggesting centuries of military experience. As they approach, the ships begin to change, their hulls shifting and adapting to counter the defenses they expect to face. All ships, Jack broadcasts, engage at maximum range. Don't let them get close enough to study our modifications. The battle begins with a spectacular display of coordinated firepower. Vorthan crystal ships fire beams of pure energy, while Kalari vessels launch swarms of guided projectiles. Threx battleships unleash massive cannon rounds, while dozens of other species contribute their own weapons to the assault. But the Devourer ships have been expecting this. Their hulls absorb the energy attacks, their shields deflect the projectiles, and their armor shrugs off the cannon rounds. They continue their approach, beginning to return fire with weapons that cut through space itself. They're adapting faster than we expected, Lisa reports from her engineering station. Their shields are learning from each attack. Then we stop. Using the same attacks, Jack replies. All ships, Pattern 7. Let's show them something they haven't seen before. The galaxy's fleet suddenly disperses, each ship group implementing tactics developed through months of joint training. But these aren't the tactics any single species would use alone. They're hybrid, strategies that combine the best of all civilizations. Human. Ships begin phase shifting, but instead of disappearing, they use their dimensional technology to redirect the massive energy beams from Vorthan crystal ships. The beams emerge from dimensional portals directly behind the Devourer vessels, striking them from unexpected angles. Kalari speed cruisers race between the enemy ships, not to attack, but to deploy Threx gravity mines in precise formations. When the mines detonate, they create gravitational anomalies that disrupt the Devourer ships. Ability to adapt. Other species contribute their own unique abilities. Some create sensor illusions, others manipulate time itself, and a few even deploy weapons that attack the enemy ship's consciousness directly. The Devourer fleet, for the first time in their history, finds themselves confused and outmaneuvered. Their ships begin to falter as attacks come from dimensions they didn't know existed, using principles they haven't encountered before. Their main command ship is breaking formation, Alex reports excitedly. I think they're trying to retreat. But Jack shakes his head. They're regrouping. They'll adapt to our new tactics and come back stronger. We need to end this now. He opens a channel to the entire fleet. All ships, final gambit. Execute Protocol Unity. What happens next has never been attempted before. Every ship in the galaxy's fleet links their systems together, creating a single massive entity. Human dimensional technology provides the framework. Alien shields protect the whole. and the combined weapons of dozens of species focus on a single target. A Devourer command ship, struck by the focused power of an entire galaxy, simply ceases to exist. The remaining enemy vessels, cut off from their leadership, begin to withdraw. The galaxy has won, but more importantly, it has learned that cooperation is stronger than competition. The Iron Will may have been mocked when it first arrived, but it taught the galaxy the most valuable lesson of all: never underestimate the power of unity. As the Devourer fleet retreats into deep space, Ambassador Krell's voice comes over the communication system. Captain Stone, on behalf of the entire galaxy, thank you. We should never have doubted you. Jack smiles as he looks out at the diverse fleet that saved them all. Ambassador, we all have something to contribute. The galaxy just needed to learn how to listen.